UC Davis police pepper spraying students 2 weeks ago as they peacefully protested at UC Davis. We're joined now by Kamran Loghman, who helped the FBI develop weapons-grade pepper spray in the 80s and develop guidelines for police departments using the sprays, joining us from Washington, D.C. How did you develop this in the 80s? How did you help develop pepper spray, Kamran Loghman?
Pepper spray was available in those days as a dog repellent, but it did not have the strength to be a weapon-grade product for law enforcement and military application. So it went through a series of research and development and a lot of field testing, and by the time it became available, it went on to under 3 years of study at the FBI Firearms Training Unit in Virginia and became a standard issue with almost every police department in the United States. And I was involved in all the research and development and basically development of the product.
So explain how it went from pepper spray to weapons-grade pepper spray, and then why the FBI was interested in developing this, and then how it came to be used by police departments all over the country.
Well, what you have is that in chili peppers or capsicum peppers or cayenne pepper, as you call it, the family of capsicum pepper, you have an ingredient which is called capsaicinoids. Capsaicinoids is the active ingredient which actually causes inflammation of the mucous membranes, the eyelids, the nose, the respiratory system, anything that basically is moist in the human body, and causes a lot of irritation and inflammation in that regard. So that part was manipulated, concentrated, strengthened, so it was no longer something you see just in chili pepper. It was fortified to many more degrees. Then it was formulated under pressure in a canister of an aerosol with variety of chemicals which are not pepper spray, such as alcohol or water, depending on the brand, different kind of propellants or gases in order to eject the spray. And that's how the military specification that we applied to that, making sure that it works every time you pull the trigger, let's call it. In regards to why FBI was interested in it, is because prior to that, in the use of force by law enforcement, when you encounter somebody who's aggressive, let's say somebody who's under the influence of narcotic or alcohol, and you arrest them, and the highway patrol wants to take them out of the car, and they become combatant. At that time, police officers had really little choice. It was either baton or go to deadly force. By introduction of pepper spray, it was very quick. Police officers were trained to do that. They could arrest the individual, take him back to the jail, wash their face, give them proper decontamination, and that was the end of the story. And in that regard, it was a great weapon. It saved hundreds of thousands of lives in the last 20 years.
And talk about what you're seeing today, how it's being used, because you also work with police departments around the country in developing a protocol and how weapons-grade pepper spray should be used, Kamran Loghman.
One of the original training manuals that was developed for the FBI, as well as many federal law enforcement around the country, as well as the state agencies, was actually authored by me and several other people. And in there, we made it very specifically clear what the intention of use of pepper spray is. And that's how every police officer gets trained even today. And that's how they get certified when they get, they learn how to use the pepper spray. What occurred here is that in UC Davis, you see a complete improper and inappropriate use. Normally, pepper spray is used when there is a physical threat to the police officers or bystanders, or there is a possibility of property damage. And you see that things are going haywire. At that situation, police officers are justified to bring things under control by using a force that is not deadly, such as pepper spray. In the case of UC Davis, individuals are totally quiet. They're not saying anything. And they're not harming anybody, and they're not being aggressive to police officers. So the use was just absolutely out of ordinary, and it was not in accordance with any training or policy of any department that I know of. I personally certified 4,000 police officers in the early 80s and 90s, and I've never seen this before, and that's why I was shocked. That's why I've come up, and I feel it's my civic duty to explain to the public that this is not what pepper spray is developed for.
let me go to Egypt for a minute. The Egyptian military is reportedly in the process of purchasing 21 tons of tear gas from the Jamestown, Pennsylvania company called Combined Systems. Workers at the Suez seaport say an initial 7-ton shipment of the U.S.-made tear gas has already entered the port. Of course, we have seen and talked with people on the ground in Cairo about what many are saying is what can be lethal pepper spray, that people are choking, are being asphyxiated by this, not pepper spray, but tear gas. Talk about the difference and about tear gas being used in this way.
Well, pepper spray is, as I mentioned to you, is the active ingredients that is derived from what is called oleoresin capsicum, which is the oily resin of capsicum, chili peppers. Is in a scientific way, you detract that or you take that, you extract that out of capsicum, and is from chili peppers. Whereas tear gases are man-made chemicals, are synthetic, and the one that you see being used in Egypt is called CS, C like C and S like Sam, and it stands for a long-term chemical, which means orthochlorobenzyl malolonitril. And it's been in use since the 60s, tear gases. And what it's supposed to do, it causes tearing of the eye. That's why it's called tear gases. A lot of itching. And when you inhale it, because it's in the air in form of dust or cloud, and you start coughing and having shortness of breath.
Kamran Loghman, I want to thank you for being with us. He's the expert who helped develop weapons-grade pepper spray with the FBI in the 1980s, as well as helped develop guidelines for police departments using them around the country.